I remember there was this girl in my Spanish class in high school, and her name was Amanda. And I was like, Amanda, what are you doing this weekend? And she was like, I'm going shining. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, that's when you take a truck out in the woods with a spotlight and you try to find a deer and you try to hit it with your truck. And I was like, that's
okay?
awful.
I gotta know.
That's
to everybody,
awful.
all of our listeners who live there, are you guys okay?
It feels good to be me. Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, and I always know that I'm always me. Feels good.
Oh!
Oh!
Hey! Let's do our handshake.
All right.
I just punched you in the face.
Yes.
Woo! All right, we have Max Castillo
Hey,
here
everyone.
on No Pill Friday.
Hell
this
yeah.
would be episode 2, right? Because the live episode's not out from the live show. By the way, if you're watching this, look forward to that because that was such a fun live show, and that's going to be posted soon.
It was sick.
Max wasn't invited to it.
I was not.
But, yeah, we have another one coming up November. That doesn't matter, but it's coming up.
Am I invited to that one?
Yeah, you were invited to that one. Of course you're
sick.
invited to that
All
one.
right.
And this is like an ADHD podcast. Usually we have a referee to keep us on our toes.
Uh-huh.
Our last referee, actually, we found out had really bad ADHD himself.
great.
And I love him so much. He's such a wonderful person, but there was no regulating in the last episode. So this
You're just
one,
running wild.
we're just going to try without it.
Okay.
And we had Pat Quinn one time.
Fun.
But you don't seem like you're going to need a ref much because you don't seem like you have too much of...
I don't think I do too much. I mean, what kid grew up in the 90s didn't have some kind of attention problem, but I don't think I go quite that far off the rails. I'm perfect, so.
Yeah, you are perfect.
Thank you so
That's why I
much.
had you on this podcast. I said, if there's going to be any perfect person on this podcast, it's going to be Max Castillo.
Wow.
Am I saying your last name right?
You are.
Because that would be so mortifying.
No, you're killing it. I
That's-
would have corrected you from jump. I would have
Yeah, you
immediately came at you.
So would have.
Yeah.
And Max has some calming energy because Tommy, who has been going, we went to Texas together. He's got,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Me and Tommy are crazy.
I know. I've been around the both of you.
We had-
It's a symphony of chaos, but it's beautiful and fun.
It is.
I love it.
We don't even form real sentences.
No, it's just noise.
Well, the three of us were hanging out, and Max
Yeah.
was kind of being quiet. We're like, why don't you get off your fucking high horse?
Yeah, I was just quietly and attentively listening to what they had to say, and it was upsetting to them. So then I started screaming a lot, and it immediately soothed their worries. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm from North Florida, up in the Panhandle, what is known as Lower Alabama.
Or hurricanes.
My family's good on the hurricane. This one, that one's hitting like Tampa, and I live 7 hours from there. But we do get hit
Wow.
by hurricanes occasionally. But that's part of it. Yeah, whenever I first moved to LA, people were like, I'm so worried about hurricanes. I was like, I'd be worried about fires. And they're like, fires aren't a big deal. I was like, you could stay in your house for a hurricane, dog.
Yeah.
You can't stay in your house for a fire.
You could stay in your house for a hurricane, you think?
Yeah.
No way.
That's what I did growing up.
What?
It's a bad storm, but like it's not like tornado level. Like you can stay inside.
The tornado levels. Indiana, we had actually some tornadoes.
Yeah. Tornadoes, you got to go underground.
Oh,
You know,
but you know what's crazy about, I guess you have to go underground.
underground.
Because I was in a high school of like 4,000 people.
What?
And we had a 2-story building. And I'll never forget, we went down. This was like, they were like, this is not a drill. Like, there actually may be a tornado. And everybody's so rowdy. It's like the most rowdiest high school. And everybody's sitting there and our teacher just yells, everybody, shut up. And everybody shuts up. And he goes, if there's a tornado, we're all going to die anyways because the second floor is going to collapse on us. And then I'm not even shitting you. The power went out.
Hell yeah.
And everybody started screaming and crying. My friend started choking me out of fear. Like, some people do crazy stuff. He was like, and then some of my strongest men friends were like crying. And I was laughing so hard. And
Beautiful.
It was fun.
In Florida, they do the opposite. I remember in high school one time, we had a Category 1 hurricane creeping up about 200 miles east of us. And then that morning on a Monday, it was downgraded to a tropical storm. And then it was then downgraded to a tropical depression. And because it was only a tropical depression, they were like, schools aren't closed. So I remember like driving to school in like 40-mile-an-hour winds and rain. The freeway is flooded, being like, I'm 17. I should not be doing this. I got to school and like I was not shitting you, one of maybe 3 people in my first period class, and the teacher was like, why did your parents allow you to do this? And I was like, bro, we built different up here, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. In Florida, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know it doesn't sound
Yeah.
like it because there was a mandatory evacuation. How many people actually evacuated? Do you think?
No one evacuates. Only like the snowbirds and like the tourists evacuate for the most part. Like everyone's like, "Nah, we got it, man. We gonna be all right." And then most of the time they are. But I mean, the only the big danger with hurricanes is a tree falling on your house. That happened to me and my mom once when I was a little kid. Was I remember like we were like I think this was Hurricane Hurricane Opal, and I don't know, it was in the 90s, and I was like, my mom was trying to, she's like, it's gonna be okay, and then a giant tree just like collapsed on our roof, and I was like, it's not okay.
No.
And it was not okay.
No, it doesn't sound okay.
No, it was not.
I'm glad that you're here today.
I am too.
Jesus Christ.
That's who we have to thank for me being
That's how we have to think. You know what I think is so funny about this podcast? I'm like, it's an ADHD themed podcast. And I'm like, everybody in comedy has it.
Yeah, you have to.
I didn't even ask you if you had it. I just added you on.
Yeah.
I said, he's a stand-up. He probably has it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you actually do.
It's never been diagnosed, but you know, not to say I can't be an underground sleeper dark horse candidate for ADHD. So we'll see.
Wild. An underground sleeper horse candidate.
Dark horse candidate, yeah, for ADHD.
Is that a phrase, or did you just make that up?
It was a bunch. Like underground, sleeper, dark horse are all things that can mean the same thing, and I put them all together.
And I really love that.
Well, good. And that's
my
why we're
new
here.
Instagram bio.
That's great. We're just gonna uplift each other for 45 straight minutes.
I've been getting drunk and changing my Instagram bios, and somebody's got to stop me because then I get so.
What's your most recent one?
The last one I had was I'm hootier than the blowfish.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was, but then I got insecure.
Why? That's so good.
I had a video pop, and I was like, people are gonna come to my page and they're gonna see I'm hootier than the blowfish.
You're gonna get a cease and desist from Darius Rucker.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I can't do it. I was gonna sing the song, but then I was like, yeah, you're gonna get copyright struck, and that is thinking like.
No, you could do a cover. That's legal.
It's crazy how powerful an Instagram bio could be, because for a while, as a joke, my Instagram bio was I do comedy for the moms out there, and I had hella moms sliding in my DMs like trying to flirt with me, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I have GF, please stop. Like I don't.
Yeah, because you're popping off on social media right now.
Oh,
Max you got to follow him. Where are they following you?
At Big Time Maca, BigTimE MACA on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I got it all across the board. YouTube also.
I used to think it was Big Time Matcha. I like matcha tea, and you love matcha tea.
It should be. It should be. No, Big Time Maca. So my name is Max Castillo, and in high school I had this run of nicknames like Mastillo, Macasty, Steo, and then Maca was the one that kind of like it settled on, so a bunch of people would call me Maca. And then one day I was like at my friend's house freestyle rapping, and I came up with this rap, Big Time Maca. And as a joke, I named my TikTok that. And for the longest time, my Instagram was like Max Castillo Comedy, and my Twitter, and then my TikTok was the first thing that blew up, and I was like, all right, Big Time Maca it is, and here we are.
Yeah, here we freaking are.
You got to go where the money is, guys. You
yeah,
know what
100%.
I mean?
And that's what I'm done. So,
We're gonna caption that one.
Yeah, we have had a lot of weird things. Also, that's Wolf in the corner. He like runs all the sound.
Wolf.
Of the Wolf. Isn't that
Wolf.
I always ask him, is that your real name?
Can we get a fucking like radio DJ like?
We can't even.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know, dude. That's so mysterious.
I want to clip together all the segments where I'm just like, Wolf, what do you think? And he just doesn't answer. Or like, I'm like, Wolf, chime in here, and he says no. And that's literally so much last season, and
That's incredible.
It was incredible. Okay, so one of the things that we do on this podcast, so since you might not have it, but what's like the most ADHD thing you've ever done, or like one of the symptoms is like impulsiveness, like, you know, it could be any theme around ADHD, a story.
Okay, I got one. So when I was in college, I was supposed to go to a music festival with a friend of mine in Atlanta. I went to college at Florida State. Go State.
Hey, we got a lot of FSU
Florida
listeners.
State, baby. It is really the Harvard of the South. You guys gave me my own camera. You gave me my own camera. I'm looking right at it. Yeah, so I had to go to this music festival, and the one thing I did before I go to this music festival was write like an essay from my class, like the end of term essay. And so me being the brilliant 22-year-old I was like, yo, I'm going to take one of my roommate's Adderalls. We're going to crank out this essay.
Love.
But this was before I really understood the nuances of extended release. So I take this Adderall at like 6 p.m., immediately knock out this essay in like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
As you do.
Got a 85 on it. Okay, not too shabby. Then I spent the next 4 hours obsessively just reading Wikipedia articles, and
Wow.
my plan was to get up at like 6 a.m. and then drive the 4.5 hours up to Atlanta, pick up my friend, get lunch in Atlanta, and then head up to the music festival. And I cannot sleep because obviously drugs. So I'm like tossing and turning. After like an hour and a half, I look at my phone. It's 12:15 a.m. I just say, fuck it. I'm driving to Atlanta now.
No freaking
So I
way.
got my bag. I threw in my car. I got gas. We drove to Atlanta all night. The day when I was meeting my friend in Atlanta, he went to Georgia Tech. He's a very smart, intelligent man. Sean Sims. Shouts out Sean Sims.
Hey, Sean. Shouts
Sims.
out.
Sean Sims. So he was doing his final presentation for his architecture major, like his big, like, this decides if I graduate or not project.
Oh, God.
And I got into Atlanta at like 7 a.m., just like fucking revved up. I looked so Florida State. I'm wearing like a Florida State like tank top, just like basketball shorts, socks and slides. And I pull up to this, and I knew where the architecture building was on campus, so I parked and I just went to his presentation, and I just like stood in the crowd amongst these people who were all wearing suits and just like listened to him describe his design. And he was very surprised to see me in the crowd. Nonetheless, he did very well, and I clapped for him at the end. Yeah.
What? That is so wild.
Yeah, it was
How
fun.
many milligrams did you take?
Dude, I don't know. This was Florida in 2014, man. No one's talking about milligrams. We were just there for the
Fucking
vibes. You know what I
taking it.
mean?
Wait, that's nuts that you drove through. How long is that drive?
Like 5 hours.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Oh, it was 5 hours, but it was all night. It was dark and scary.
Yeah, that's true. That's fucking true.
Also, there's no interstate, so it's all like back road highways that aren't lit. Okay,
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of deer.
terrifying. The
All right.
deer. Okay, I went to Colorado, and I was in Aspen, and I was with some mountain people for the week, and
Hell yeah.
these guys kept calling them Bambi bashers. And I was like, Jesus Christ. They're like, you gonna fix that Bambi basher? I was like, what do you?
The thing on the front of the
Yes.
truck.
And I was like, that is so aggressive.
That's so upsetting.
Oh, and they're huge. They were like, yeah, it's got a brand new Bambi basher. It's red. I'm like, okay.
I remember there was this girl in my Spanish class in high school, and her name was Amanda. And I was like, Amanda, what are you doing this weekend? And she was like, I'm going shining. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, that's when you take a truck out in the woods with a spotlight and you try to find a deer and you try to hit it with your truck. And I was like, that's
People
That's
okay? I
awful.
gotta know.
That's
To everybody, all of our listeners who live there, are you guys okay?
I don't think
We don't
so.
even have any.
I didn't say, we do. We have one.
We have one.
It's a.
And hey,
I told her secret. I said I wouldn't, and I did.
it's my sister.
I made a promise
She
in Spanish
watches all
class.
of them. Okay, so that's nuts. People are nuts out there, but they also have deer whistlers.
Deer, what is that?
I don't know. It makes a high pitched noise and it's supposed to like make the deer kind of.
Oh, like a call, like a.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah, Colorado. You would think that people are like, there is a patch of people in Colorado though that are like, whoa, what's going on here? And like,
Yeah, 100%. It's the wilderness.
it's what I was.
It's just mountains.
I spent a week there and I was in a Subaru and we decided to do a 14er. So
Oh, yeah.
he was like, I was surprised for you. And he drove up this mountain. We drove on rocks in a Subaru. And I was like, we're going to fucking die. He's like, I'm going to
Like the
extremist.
commercial?
He was like, and I was like,
You're in a Subaru commercial.
you were basically
You
in
know?
a Subaru commercial.
It's like the new Subaru
I was
Outback.
surprised.
And you were just like, fuck!
I'm surprised his car didn't blow up. We was rocks the entire. We went like. It
That's
took
what it's
us
designed
4
for, though.
hours. No, fuck, freaking way.
That's what it's. Aren't they sporty?
Yeah, that's what everybody says. But I could hear the pipes underneath just going. And I was like, we're gonna blow up.
I would love to see a car commercial where like they're driving over rocks and you just hear like like all the scrapes and scratches and then it pulls up at the end and it's just beat to shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just beat to shit.
Yeah, just destroyed. Like the tires all bent.
What do you drive?
I drive a Hyundai Sonata.
Lame.
Yeah,
No, I was kidding.
it is.
You look like you drive a Honda Sonata.
Thank you so much.
If I was a car, what would I be?
I could see you being like a Toyota Tacoma, like a little tiny pickup truck, not like one of the big ones, but like one of the ones you're like, I would ride that if I had like kids. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's really nice.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
really kind.
Oh, good.
I don't really get the kid thing, but I really appreciate it.
Well, if I had kids, the only reason I'd get a pickup truck is if I had kids because I have
true.
to throw all their shit in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, amen
Plus,
to
it's such a dad move, dude. You know, like, come on, hey, we're going down to the lake. Get your boogie boards in the back. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I
it.
imagine.
Get your boogie board.
Get those boogie boards back there.
You do a lot of voice and impressions. Don't
I do.
You?
I grew up an only child, like the first 8 years of my life. So the only thing I really could do to pass the time was just do voices by myself,
That's
and it has served me well.
You were an only child.
I was between my parents. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's gotta be wild. That's like a wild concept.
Well, see, I was kind of like when a homeschool kid like randomly just joins in middle school and they're like, oh, and then they kind of get the best of both worlds because my dad and my stepmom had 2 kids and I have a stepbrother from my previous marriage. But that was all when I was like 8 or 9.
Oh, so you had some of your alone time and then you had to learn how to freaking mesh with them.
Yep.
Okay, love that.
Thank you.
Are you close with them?
I'm very close with them. We have a group chat. My 2 younger brothers, though, are like in their early 20s and they're in college and they don't want to answer no phone calls no more. So, like, you know, I'm kind of the only way I can communicate. The only thing they'll respond to is if I send memes to them in our group chat.
Yeah.
Then they'll respond to the memes. But if I'm like, hey, like, how are things going, bud? Like, they like don't respond.
That's so funny.
I have to like. I'm thinking of making these memes where it's like when you decide to tell your brother how your day was. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only way I'm gonna get a response out of them.
That's great.
Thank you.
You know, my cousin sent me your video.
Really?
My cousin is a lawyer in Indiana, and he's like very like hadn't talked to him in a while. I love him to death. I love all my cousins. He just randomly goes, hey, you should hang out with this comedian. Sends me a video of you, and I go, wildly, I already do.
Damn, got him. Yeah, I really got that Indiana lawyer demographic locked in.
You really do. You're really hitting the Indiana lawyer.
That's a good one.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you so
that.
much. That's really cool. I've had a few stories like that where people are like, oh, this person sent me your video. And I'm like, oh, it is really fun because I spend so much time making them. So it does mean a lot when people say that. I think I had a bunch of people that like I haven't talked to since high school reach out and be like, bro, this is so funny. Like, oh, and I'm like, thanks so much.
Yes.
But part of me, like the ego part of me is like, I know it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you just like, are you constantly thinking of video ideas? Like, you're just like,
Essentially, yeah. Essentially. Like, you kind of have to. I feel like part of being a good comedian and a good creative is just always jotting down any idea. Because, like, you'll never know which one will come back into play, right? Like, the GoldenEye 007 video, the one that, like, blew me up last year, that was a video that I had the idea for. I wrote it down. I kind of forgot about it. I came back to it, filmed it, didn't like how it looked, put it back on the shelf. A month later, rediscovered it, shot it, and here we are.
I gulped.
That was good. That was a good gulp.
That was in reaction, like.
That's all you could do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Amazing. No, that's true. You had to write everything down.
Yeah.
I'm kind of spastic at that. I'll be like, yo, this is it, and I don't write it down.
This is it. Yeah, that always happens. Bro, I swear to, I'm going to remember this, and then the next day you have no idea what it says.
Or like, I have the idea in my head, and I get on stage, because sometimes some of these shows, like shows are what we practice on now. I don't know. Sometimes I don't do open mics as much anymore just because I'd rather do like a show that's like not a lot of people there, and that's where I practice, because sometimes I'm like, comedians were being a little too supportive for each other, but I'll have like an idea, or at least I go to mics and laugh for everybody.
Who hurt you, Audrey?
I go to mics and I open mics and I laugh at so many comedians, and they're like, stop laughing, Audrey, I want to see if this actually works. I'm like, well,
damn.
I'm like, well, it's working for me. But I will have an idea and I'll say it and it'll be so conjumbled that people will be like, what the fuck?
I do that a lot too. Like when I first do something and I record it on my phone, it's just, I talk so fast because I'm just like, oh, blah, 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 I'm trying to figure it out. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I did do that recently where like I wrote a bit on the way to the show in the car. On the way there, did it, and it went pretty good. And I was like, I am unstoppable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, it's just a coin flip. It's just a coin flip because that could bomb, and I'd be like, I never want to do comedy again. You know?
Yeah.
That's the game, baby.
That's a game, baby. That's what.
Game.
Okay, I got to tell you. That's what. So I went to Fort Worth, Texas.
Hell yeah.
With Tommy, and I was supposed to headline the Red Room while Jeremiah Watkins headlined the main room. Mm-hmm. And from the get-go, things were just logistically a mess. We fly to Fort Worth. First of all, we're driving to the airport because I had a parking spot there. Nice. And we're driving there, and I'm almost out of gas. We're on 2 miles. We're like, whatever. We somehow make it with no gas. We run to our flight. We get on the flight. We get there. We check into this hotel. Mm-hmm. There is, right when we walk in, there are punch hole marks in the door.
Damn.
There is the smoke detector had been ripped out. There was puke in the corner. All the outlets were exposed, and the bathtub had dirt everywhere, and the seat toilet was up. Ooh. And then we lifted, this is the worst part, the comforter, wet, fresh jizz.
Damn.
All over the bed. And I called the front desk and I say, hey, excuse me, there's jizz in this bed and puke in the corner, and this is a safety hazard. She goes, well, I don't know what to tell you, honey, because the cleaners aren't coming till tomorrow.
Damn.
I said, can we get another room? She said, we sold out. I said, also, there's only one bed, and I had a room for 2. So that already was weird because Tommy and I are platonic. I would never touch him. That was unnecessary to say.
I would never touch him.
Well, he's got a beautiful girlfriend, and I'm friends with her. And Tommy.
He is very handsome.
Anyways, so there's what if I was like, I just. Okay, so I call.
Yeah, that's the thing Audrey does where she plays out the whole joke in her head before she says it, laughs really hard, and then just moves on and leaves you in the fucking rear view, dog.
Yeah. People get frustrated. Like,
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
I love that you love it. Some people are like, woo. But yeah, and then they didn't have any room, and so then we got another time, and then they refused to refund us.
Ugh. What was this? What was this place?
Okay, well, if I tell you, then you're gonna be like.
Oh, okay. I will say it sounds like someone had a good fucking time in that hotel room.
It was Motel 6 or Motel 8, Super 8.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's just on brand for them.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Part of the experience.
We got it through Hopper, and the photos, we were tricked.
Dang.
But then we get there, and then we did Jeremiah's stand up on the spot show, and that made it worth it. It was fun. But then the next night, we combined our shows, and then the club manager didn't pay me.
Whoa.
Yeah, he refused to pay me.
Why?
Something my manager and him didn't work something out.
Whoa,
I don't know.
You have to fight that person now.
Yeah, but
That's
Jeremiah
crazy,
paid me, which was nice.
That was nice.
And it was really fun, and like it was a packed out room.
That's the best.
And Fort Worth, Texas is.
Fort Worth.
I don't know if they were gonna like me, but we jived pretty hard.
Yeah, people from Texas are pretty fun. You
Yeah,
know?
if you play both sides, they're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas. I love Texas because I've never been to a state that just loves the fact that it's that state so hard. Because like
100%.
every bar, like so many places in Texas have the Texas state flag flying above them. It's just like, fuck yeah, this is fucking Texas. You know what I mean? I love it.
Texas.
I get so fired up for that.
They just like to yell one word things at you too, like guns. And I'm not even just saying that. Like that legitimately happened. I was like, what? I was like, Texas is wild. Like guns. And they're like, Whataburger.
I love Whataburger.
Yeah.
Okay, I would be yelling Whataburger.
Well, I said, what is Whataburger? Biggest mistake I've ever made in my entire.
You can't say that.
People started booing.
Yeah.
And then somebody go, you never had honey biscuit chicken?
They should have been booing you.
And then people would chant honey biscuit chicken. I'm like, how are you starting your own
honey butter
channel?
chicken biscuit. Honey butter chicken biscuit. It's so good.
It is.
Oh, I love Whataburger. I actually am I'm a huge Whataburger fan. Every now and then my mom will send me a little Whataburger care package that has a few bottles of the Whataburger spicy ketchup and some kind of merch. I have like 3 pairs of socks, 2 t-shirts. My mom for Christmas last year even got me the Whataburger neon sign.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I love how you're like, I love Whataburger, and it was actually drastically like my whole room is Whataburger. I'm like, what the fuck?
I love Whataburger. It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
I've never had it still.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
This is
Yeah. Everybody
I leave.
freaking hates
I
me
leave.
because
Delete
I say
Audrey's
that.
number.
That is so funny. Okay, something I wanted to ask on the last podcast, which is so funny, because it was so like we couldn't even get to it because we were having too much fun. But you don't have ADHD, right? So or ADD, you don't think you have it, but what do you do to stay on task? Like because I think it's fascinating. Everybody does something differently to get their tasks done and to stay focused. And I want to know what your technique is.
Okay, 2 things. I like to like set little rewards goals for myself. And the 2 things that get me through my day are crosswords and Tetris, like obsessively. So if I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to like work for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then if I do that, I'll do a crossword and I'll do that. And then I'm just in crossword land. I'm filling in the squares. I'm having a blast, you know, and then suddenly I come crashing back down from that, face the startling reality that I have to do more work. So I do more work and I set little rewards based goals like that. But yeah, it's mostly Tetris. I found that like if I'm on like a video call or something like that, I can actually pay attention better if I'm like playing Tetris, because if I'm not playing Tetris, I'm just gonna like, you know, start, oh look, now I'm on Wikipedia and now I'm gonna read about this. But if I'm like playing Tetris, I'm like sitting there just like moving the pieces in place and I'm just like, oh yeah, we can handle that. You know, I'm like able to tune in.
Wait, that's really okay. Well, that's smart.
Thanks.
I don't think I could ever play some Tetris.
You can play some Tetris.
Maybe.
I just started playing this, like really hitting it like maybe within the last year, and it's fun.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what Tetris is.
You don't know what Tetris is? You don't know what Tetris is? The most famous video game like ever since the 80s? You don't know what Tetris is?
Yeah, I don't know what Whataburger is. I don't know what Tetris is.
Whataburger.
Freaking sue
Tetris.
me.
That's okay. Tetris is the game with the little blocks, and they all fit.
Oh, yeah,
and then
that's right.
If you fill it up, they all go away.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
did you? So you do know what it is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
What did you think it was called?
Just let's fit the squares in.
Let's fit the squares in. That sounds like a fun game show.
Honestly, that's what everything should be called. Just fucking freaking call it what it's. I'm trying not to say the F-bomb.
Hey, life is just about fitting the
I've
squares
been saying the
in
F-bombs
when you can.
so much.
Really?
Well-
you trying to cut down?
Yeah, well, my TikTok, thank God, a lot of my
down.
clips, we have to like edit it out because I'm saying it so much. The dog, there's always something going on at Jam in the Van. It is honestly
There's
incredible.
some good pups.
It's some good pups. Oh, you should kid. What's your puppy voice?
My puppy voice.
What's your dog voice?
Well, so we have two dogs. One of them he's literally from Italy, so we just do like a little old man Italian voice for him. Whenever I talk to him, I'm like, Frank, why you go outside to use the bathroom?
You go Italian when you talk to dogs. That's
Well, no, just
incredible.
because this specific dog, my dog, he's from Italy.
Okay.
He's my girlfriend's dog. He's from Italy.
Okay.
But just normal dogs, I kind of go like a little deep voice with it, like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that. Look
That's
at that.
nice.
Oh,
look at that. Wow.
But I do talk to them like they are humans. I say like, look, this is a tiny little gentleman.
Okay, see, that's I haven't seen that. Like you get like official with them.
Oh yeah,
Mine's like a demon. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah. Oh, that was good.
and they all,
I had to stop doing that because it hurt my throat.
yeah. There's a price to pay for doing the demon voice.
Yeah,
You know.
I've been trying to do a lot of vocal exercise. Wolf, how much time do we have too? 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes. Wow.
15 minutes left.
For like, that's fucking ridiculous.
This has been too fun.
This has been too fun.
Did Wolf just answer a question? Like,
Yeah.
helpfully?
Yeah, he did.
Whoa! Give it up for Wolf, everyone.
Wait, my favorite is we had a psychic on this show, season 1. We were all so excited. Energy was high. We're like, we're going to read somebody else in the room. And Sydney looked at Wolf and Wolf goes, no. It was incredible.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, wait, something I wanted to ask Turner, because it's kind of fun a question, because he does a lot of crowd work. Are you a crowd work comedian?
I honestly just got into doing crowd work maybe in the past few months because I never realized how fun it was. I always thought it was so scary. I was like, oh, like not knowing what you want to say. Oh, but my jokes are good. But like once I learned that one of the best ways to just immediately win a crowd over is like do some riffing at the top and just fucking, bounce around a bit. So not particularly. I always like love watching him go up because he just pretty much only does crowd work and it's so fun to watch.
He's like been predicting things. Like a lot of comedians I find like is so funny. They'll predict stuff based off like your look or your vibe. You're like, okay, Michelle. And they're like, my name is Michelle. They'll be like, this guy. Or it's like weirdly specific. Like, this person, they take notes at the nurse's office. They're like, I do take notes at the nurse's office. And I think it's absolutely.
Maybe he's the psychic.
I think he is a psychic. And I wanted to get to that, but I'll ask him on our own personal
What about
time.
you? Do you like doing crowd work?
I've been getting better at it.
That's good.
So this has been Texas was all crowd work pretty much because that's I feel like how on the road I've learned that a lot of my LA the material that I know can crush here sometimes can have problems on the road.
Yeah.
So it's my saving grace to ease people into who I am and then they'll be prepared for my bits is talking to them up front.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I've been doing that more, but I have this inviting energy where people just feel like they can just scream things at me. And like,
Oh yeah.
I won't say the headliner, but he was like, you're tricky for me because I will bring you and people will be like, your energy is so excited that they like go at a 10 in the very beginning, which is difficult. So my crowd work it's been getting better, but it's also like I need to figure out how to control the audience because we just end up getting chaotic within the first 10 minutes of a 45-minute set.
I would say, bro, don't rein that shit in.
Yeah.
That shit is special, dog. Like, every time I've seen you perform and you go up there and you're just like, wow, like it's always so much fun. I would say don't rein
Hold
that in.
back. Okay.
You can't close Pandora's box.
You can't close
You know what I mean?
Pandora's. And now that I'm doing 45 minutes, I'm like tapping into something. That's what's so LA. We can't do that much time, right? But then as soon as you start doing 45 minutes to an hour, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do this type of material or crowd. Like I have inner thoughts that I just say out loud. And I'm like, I didn't even know I was, and then I circle it back around I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't even know I could connect.
You do
things like
callbacks.
that.
Yeah, I just did a set in Brooklyn. I did a show in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I got
how
to
was
do,
that?
It was so fun. I got to bring all my friends.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Except for me, I'm a friend.
Audrey wasn't there. Audrey didn't invite me to the first live show. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But going forward, we're invited to each other's shows.
Yeah,
And
we're
brunch?
always invited. I was so sad I missed the Basement Fest.
Oh, dude, Basement Fest was amazing. Shouts out Niles Abson. Y'all had to be here. Kate, Basement Fest LA was absurdly fun.
I know when you texted me to do it, I was sad that I was going to be
Yeah.
losing $600 in Fort Worth.
But what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you had to go to the Jizz Hotel.
Yeah, gotta go to the gym.
You're like, sorry, I can't do your cool show. Got a date at the Jizz Hotel.
Yeah, but you sold it out. Tell me about it.
In Brooklyn, yeah. So we sold out a 60 plus seat room, and I brought a bunch of friends of mine. Had friends of mine in New York that live in New York come on the show, and I got to do a 30-minute set, and it was the first time in so long I've gotten to do that much time, and it is so much fun. You just feel so relaxed. You're not rushing anything. You get to be so much more present. So now I was doing callbacks to stuff, the jokes that I'd been doing for a while, were the best versions of those jokes because I was just there, baby. I was in it. You know what I mean? It's so fun.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah,
we're both at this. I feel like we're at the same level. We're just now starting to do more time.
Yeah, do more time, do shows in other cities.
I know.
baby.
It's exciting. It's exciting. We're going into debt.
We're going into debt.
And that's every new headliner. Every new headliner goes into debt.
That's part of the game, baby.
They call the traveling weekday comedians because they give us one-nighters on weekdays too.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
We got to go on you, me, and Tommy got to go on the road.
That would be fun.
It
would be pure. I would love it. It would be so chaotic. It'd be a blast.
We absolutely could easily do it. We could just have our teams call somebody.
Where do you want to go? We don't have a team. Do you have a team? I have no team.
I do have a team.
Wow.
do have a team.
My team is me, dude.
Yeah, see, that's what it. You know, yeah, you're crushing it.
Thank you.
But I just signed with this manager who's been helping me get.
That's what's up.
The
But also
clubs.
managers, please.
Yeah, get out of
exhausting.
here. Get out of here. But we could just call or have him call or you call.
I'll call pretending to be someone else.
Yeah, we could literally.
That's what they mean when they say be your own team. You had to adopt 3 or 4 different aliases, and then that's your team, baby.
That would work though, like calling and being like, "I rep," and then they look you up and
Yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, this guy's
Oh,
fucking
man, this
crushing
guy is
it."
so good.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
What if that was the whole podcast?
I'm proud of Wolf.
Hey, Wolf, we're
He
really
smiled.
proud of you.
He did smile. He did smile.
We have 10 minutes left. And I got to tell you, do you have any other, okay, because so it's so funny because this used to be a storytelling podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, okay, I've had this happen multiple times. Somebody drove from Dallas to try to see me in Fort Worth and listened to, they were like, I can't keep up with your pods. There's No Pill Friday, then it's What's Upon a Tangent. She's like, I don't even know what I'm going to find when I search it on YouTube, but I'm down to listen. And I was like, that's so accurate and funny because it's
Hell yeah.
literally hopped around so much because What's Upon a Tangent was storytelling and No Pill Friday is just ADHD based theme.
Yeah.
And I feel like the live show is more structured. And I wrote down segments for the live show that would not work in a sit down setting. So I got to figure out the structure of the sit down setting. But I like the storytelling aspect from the last pod. So if you have any other story that you want to tell for the last 10 minutes, could be the most traumatic thing that happened to you. That's why you have trauma. Or it could be
Yeah, let's do that. No, I'm just kidding.
There are podcasts like that are like, thanks for coming on. So what do you feel about it? I'm like, what the fuck? I literally had 7 cups of coffee just for you to ask me.
It's like this trauma brought to you by Blue Apron, you know?
Have you ever had podcast scrub prior episodes that you were on? I just recently started doing that.
No.
I had a few pods from back in the day where I was like, I'm not that person anymore. Not that it was,
that makes sense.
Bad, but I was like, when I was dating, or I don't know, I was like, some of that's personal stuff. I was like,
Yeah,
I'd
you don't
rather
want
not
that.
have
That
it
makes
out
sense.
there.
That
I was
makes
like
sense.
labeling myself. I was like, I don't want to label myself.
Yeah, I haven't been on like a ton of podcasts, so I don't think I would need to do that. But that totally makes sense because you get in the habit of doing them. I mean, there's probably so much, and we grow and change over time, you guys.
We do. We really freaking do.
I love this, like me providing this sage wisdom counterpart.
People listen for wisdom. I feel like,
I like it.
You know what I really want to tap in? The demographic. Like I want all the listeners just to have out of the wall ADHD, and then they become fans, and then they come to these live shows, and it's just ADHD people, and it's you can't control the crowd. That's how bad it is. If I could tap into that niche,
Yeah, do it.
and everybody's out of control 24/7, and Wolf has to literally resign. That That's the dream. Do you have any closing?
Man, closing. I don't know. I have so many stories, and here we are, not having.
You're
one.
like sweating and panicking right now. You're like, yeah. Fuck, I got stories. I didn't just discover that tree's fake. Thought it was real. This whole
Wow.
time.
Are you okay with it?
I'm not joking. I really did. I really now.
That's the most unrealistic looking tree I've ever seen in my life.
Maybe I get my eyes checked.
This looks like it would be like in the background of like a Disney ride about dinosaurs. You know
Would
what
you
I
put
mean?
that in your house? I feel like that's kind of nice.
I would put it in my house, but it would for sure. You know what I mean?
Here's
It looks like 8 different trees all morphed together. Like at the fake tree factory, these are the spare parts. We got to throw something out.
if your ex gave you plants and they were still in your apartment, would you keep feeding them water and letting them live and grow, or do you let them die?
Oh, that's a tough call. I would probably keep feeding because they're plants. You know.
Yeah, but there were reminders too. He's like, "Oh, am I not letting go of this relationship because I'm watering these plants?" What kind of closing remarks?
This sounds like Audrey. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to get rid of the plants or do you want to keep the plants?
I can't decide. You know, sometimes I go on these 10-day trips for comedy, and I come back and I'm like, maybe they're dead. They're still blossoming. I'm
They're
like,
killing it.
huh.
They feed off your regret.
Yeah, they
I
do.
think.
I don't regret nothing.
That's right.
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's our time. What a wild way
Just
to
yelling.
end the podcast.
Just yelling.
Just yelling. Max, I just so appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you
and
too.
I enjoy your energy and you as a
Wow.
person.
Thank you. I enjoy you too.
And
You're so great.
You are the best. And
Wow.
you're gonna keep flourishing. You guys really gotta follow him because he's
Follow me.
he's a blast and a half.
The tag's gonna be somewhere on this video. And
Also-
that's what it is.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to that person who came from Dallas to Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Made that drive.
Hell yeah.
And then had to go see me and Jeremiah because we had to combine our crowds because, yeah. But
But that's Texas.
hey, that's
Hey, comedy's about combining crowds and staying in jizz-covered motels, guys. All right.
Yeah, that actually is what Tommy kept saying. This is our dream. Like as soon as we saw the jizz, he was like, "Yeah, but this is our dream." I was like, "This is not.
This is not my dream.
Max, I love you.
Love you too, bud. Thanks for having me on. We'd love
Yeah.
to come back at some point.
I will have you back.
Whoa.
Who's we? It's just me.
You and your team.
Me and my team.
You got a team, dude.
You got a team, dude. And you got a whole team on your back. And that's totally
Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, well, I
Thanks.
always know that I'm
What,
always
thanks.
free. Feels good to be free. Have the world at my feet. Everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always free. Oh, I wake up each morning and I know my truth, and I kind of like knowing when the sun comes through that I don't have to pretend to be someone else.